Uprising has been out now for about a week or so here. It would have been out longer if it wasn't for this set's sponsor, the UK Customs and Border Patrol. But now that I've had a bit of time to digest all of the cards in the set, I'm here to throw my Ragamuffin's hat in the ring, awful pun, and talk about my 5 favourite cards from Uprising. But anyways, before we get onto the list, please consider subscribing to this channel. I talk about upcoming sets, upcoming cards, deck lists, all sorts of things flesh and blood, so make sure to get subscribed to stay up to date. Anyways, onto the list. So the first card that I absolutely loved in this set, as soon as I saw it, I thought this card is just it's so good, is Erase Face. Now, Erase Face, despite having the best artwork in the set, my goodness, is a 2-cost, 6-attack generic card which says, when Erase Face hits a hero, cards and tokens they own lose all class and talent types until the end of their next turn. My goodness. This means absolutely no fusion for elemental heroes because all cards lose their ice and earth and all those other types. If Starvo was still around, this card would have absolutely put him in the grave. If you're playing against Dash, there's absolutely no boost because cards aren't Mechanologist anymore. If Chain was still around, I suppose it would still work in Blitz. Then Soul Shackles won't do anything because no cards or Shadow or Runeblade anymore. Viscerai's ability doesn't work. Icelander's ability doesn't work. Essentially, if a card type is mentioned anywhere in anything ever, Erase Face gets rid of it. It is such a good card, and it is, for most decks, a card that has to be blocked. 6 attack, my goodness, fantastic. And just putting this out there, it works with Pummel. My goodness, that puts this up to a 10 with a card discard as well. Control decks, Guardian stuff. My goodness, play Erase Face. If you have the resources to pay for Erase Face and a Pummel, you're doing well. Next on our list is a card that I talked about in my Azalea video, which should be up in this corner of the screen plug, and that is Sift. Now, I am showing off the red version here, however, the red and the yellow version are kind of, I'd say, interchangeable for the most part because you'll probably only really be changing maybe 2 or 3 cards with Sift. But anyways, Sift is a 0-cost generic action that also blocks for 3, can I add? Love 3 block cards. That says put up to 4 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, then draw that many cards with Go Again. Now, as I said, the yellow is to put 3, the blue is to put 2 on there, but this card is great. See, for any deck that like runs few attacks with a lot of non-attack reactions where your ratio might be a bit kind of off, Sift is a card that allows you to essentially redraw your hand. It's kind of like a mulligan on the go. It costs 1 card from hand to actually play that mulligan, but hey, it's just, it helped me out loads whenever I was trying to find Auros as Azalea, and it will help me in the future when I play Azalea once again. Next, I'm going to talk about the dragons. Now, I don't really have a lot of experience when it comes to the illusionist class, and dragons kind of scare me a bit because they have effects that I don't really want to deal with, but one that stood out to me that I didn't see mentioned a lot was Thamai. Now, Thamai will have Phantasm because there's an Ash counter underneath them, or a token, or whatever those Ash things are called, and once you pay the 2 resources and play the card to invoke Thamai, you get a dragon whose ability reads, opponents can't play cards or activate abilities during your turn. This is fantastic for any type of control play. You're playing against Icelander, you're playing against Kano. Because Icelander is so popular right now, I can see Icelander being used as kind of like a control, like top of the meta deck at the moment, and Thamai is just a dragon I would possibly never attack with him, make my opponent spend resources to try and kill him on their turn, and know that you're not going to get bonked out of nowhere from some weird non-attack action, weird wizard Kano Icelander thing. This essentially just lets you breathe on your own turn, build up your game plan, and it puts something in place for your opponent to deal with. Initially in my notes, I did put down that you could pair this with Mirajai to like lose the Phantasm so that you don't have to worry about him being blocked. But in saying that, I honestly think that if I was playing as Dramai and I got Thamai, there's a lot of eyes in this set and it's really starting to become confusing. If you can get this dragon out onto the field, I would pretty much just say never attack with him. It just, yeah, he's probably my favorite dragon because it kind of turns off that kind of on my turn control style. But let me know what dragons you find are the best. I wouldn't mind trying Dramai at some point if I could learn the names of the dragons. Anyways, on to the 4th card that I absolutely love in this set, and that's all you got. Now, I am a sucker for 0-cost generic defense reactions. They are possibly one of my favorite things in the game because I can slot them into any deck and their on-hit effects are usually pretty good. And this, in my opinion, joins the ranks of the 0-cost defense reactions that we all love and put everywhere and have to deal with on a daily basis. So, what is its effect effect? You might ask. Well, it's a 0 cost for 3, not the 4 defense that we're used to, but it is a yellow, so it does pitch for 2. And it says, while this is defending an attack with 2 or less attack, the combat chain closes, draw a card. Now, I know that this is kind of situational in that it has to be with 2 or less, so it's something I'd be sideboarding in for the inevitable Fai or Katsu matchups that we're going to be seeing, and maybe Ira in the upcoming skirmish season. However, essentially, it's a free 3 block. And you draw a card, which means you played this for free, so your hand goes down to, say, 3 cards from 4, and then you just draw a card at the end, so you're ready to go on your next turn. As far as value goes, this card is unbelievable. In the correct matchup, I would probably board it out if I wasn't playing against a ninja or something that's trying to go extremely wide. I wouldn't really see it being used in matchups like if I'm going on against, like, I don't know, Oldham and he's hitting me for like 30 dominate and discard 8 cards from your hand when it hits. I don't think that's all you got is really gonna stand up to the test of that one, but hey, who knows? Some people might have some cool ideas for it other than getting free cards off ninjas. And now on to the 5th card. I've left this one to last because it is my absolute favorite card from the set. People who know me will probably think this is a wizard card, and it's actually not. It is the fabled Blood of the Drakai. So one of the cool things about owning Blood of the Drakai, which I obviously do, is that you're in possession of one of, in my opinion, the best fabled cards in the game. It is a red cost fabled gem, which means it doesn't attack or defend or anything. It's essentially just a resource gem. It's a red card, and it says when you pitch Blood of the Drakai, the next 3 draconic cards you play this turn cost 1 resource less. My goodness, that is a 4 resource gain. I mean, it doesn't just give you 4 resources, but it's a 4 resource gain that can be used in decks that have pretty much a low cost. Like if Fai uses this, this will pay for the entire turn because all of the 1 costs will now become 0. But if you pair this with Talisman of Recompense, you're getting 6 resources total from this card. What? James White, what are you doing? So Talisman of Recompense, for anyone that isn't aware, is a item that was released in Everfest that you play out onto the field. It's a 0 cost, it has go again, and in a nutshell, it essentially says when you pitch 1 resource, you destroy the Talisman of Recompense, you get 3 resources back. That means you pitch Blood of the Drakai, which will net you 1 resource, Talisman of Recompense will do its recompensing and give you 3 resources, then the next 3 draconic actions you play that turn get 1 cheaper? My goodness, if this was Dramaya who's like putting out some of her 6 or 5 cost dragons out onto the field, her entire turn is going to benefit from the 6 resources it gains. I don't know if you could build a Fai deck that's going to take advantage of 6 resource gain in 1 turn, but my goodness, this is just insane. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. There are plenty of other cards in the set. I think that I would like to go on and maybe explore like some of my favorite cards from each class, so if that's something that you would like me to talk about, let me know down in the comments below. If you disagree with any of the cards on this list, or you can find any cool synergies within the set that I might not know about, also let me know. I'm trying to get the grips with a lot of the cards in this set because it's a lot different from previous sets. And also, if you want to talk to me directly and you don't like using the YouTube comment system, you can follow me over on Twitter where I talk about Flesh and Blood regularly and I'm a little bit more interactive, so yeah, make sure to follow me over there as well. But anyways, thanks for watching this video and I'll see you guys next time.